We're going to welcome everybody to One Heart, One Mind, Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm going to invite our very own Nan Brunn to sing us in. I'm going to unmute you, Nan. Here we go. You go for it, girl.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. A drop of water in a silent pond, its echoes ripple on and on. Love is the center of all. Love makes us all one. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love heals, love sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
That was beautiful. Our a cappella opening. Thank you so much for that. How gorgeous was that? You have a lovely voice. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. And now I'm going to invite Lissa, who is our practitioner of the day, to do our opening prayer. And I'm sure she has a few words. Morning, Lissa.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Well, in that spirit of recognizing there is only love, let's take a nice breath and join together in that spirit, knowing that there is only one, that energy and thing we call God is really love, and that love is the driver of the universe and is the creator of the past, the future, and present, and is always available to us in many of its different forms. And I feel we are so blessed today to be able to look at love and have Reverend Michelle help us look at the rainbow of love, all the ways that love expresses itself. And so I release my word with thankfulness that we have the opportunity to be together and experience the blessedness of this service. And so I release my word by saying, and so it is. Well, And as I was thinking about love this week, I was mostly thinking about all the different kinds of ways that we verbalize love as well as act it. And I know that most of you know my experience that I had a couple of weeks ago, where I was faced with being stranded and a bunch of different things. And it's like all the way along, I experienced the kindness of strangers and the love that comes from that willingness to share yourself or your gifts with a person who is a stranger, which is what those people did for me. And I really appreciate that. And I see that around me. I observe it happening to other people. And then there's the well, let me see, I had written down several little things here, excuse me. There's romantic love, of course. There's and family love that keeps people together, even when there are conflicts. And there's the love that you can feel after you give love. I'm sure you've all had that experience of giving your gift of love to somebody else and experience it coming back to you. Excuse me. And then there's the love of inanimate things. I think we all have our little loves of, you know, a collection or a particular piece of music, or I think we frequently express love just in an ongoing way, even when we don't think about it, in terms of the things that each day, you know, I love my lunch, for example, that kind of love. And the love of nature, of course. I know that we all really resonate with that particular love, and really seeing Spirit's presence in nature and being able to respond from a very deep space inside. And there's love of country, and there's a communal love, that when there's an emergency, it's like all of the different kinds of gifts that have been offered with the Maui fires, for example, in terms of people traveling to go and help, and all of that kind of love. And surrounding all of this, or being all of this, is essentially higher love. And that's, I always think of that as the total expression, that is the thing that seeds all of these other kinds of love. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with a song from the 80s, which was called Higher Love, yeah. But it really resonated in my whole body, in terms of, and I discovered that Steve Winwood, and he did the music, but this other gentleman, Will Jennings, wrote the lyrics, and he was the son of a minister. And so although many people see the song only on the superficial level of, you know, higher love, my ultimate girl or boyfriend, I think that Jennings was coming from the place that I feel when I hear the song. And so, okay, higher love is always present, but it's not only that warm, fuzzy love. It's also the times when we have essentially creative contrast, have created whatever issue we're going to have to find some way to live through. And those are the times when we grow, really. And it's kind of like, it gives us an atmosphere for course correcting. And so at any rate, it's like needing to really see the depth of love. And so anyway, I just wanted to end with a few pieces of a poem by Hafiz. The poem is titled Tired of Speaking Sweetly. And it let's see. Love sometimes gets tired of speaking sweetly and wants to rip to shreds all your erroneous notions of truth that make you fight within yourself, dear one, and with others. God wants to manhandle us, lock us inside of a tiny room with himself, and practice his drop kick. The beloved sometimes wants to do us a great favor, hold us upside down, and shake all the nonsense out. And so anyway, I think that's another.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm unmuted and I'm chuckling at the same time.
It's all right. It's all right. It's a good poem. It's a bit longer, but I just took those pieces because I like that. The
Oh my
idea of
gosh, I
God
love that.
drop kicking.
Oh, it's so true too, right?
Right. So basically that's my take on the rainbow of love. The one last thing that I did recall, well, the first thing that I thought when you said the rainbow of love was of the fact that of Judy Garland's song Over the Rainbow, and the fact that essentially that's kind of like an anthem for the gay community. And so it was just kind of, that was another piece of the fact that love has many, many faces, and that each level of love should be accepted and blessed.
Thank you so much. You did a perfect opening for exactly what we're talking about this month and what the talk is about. Here's the affirmation for September, Lisa.
Okay, why don't we all say this together? I am grateful for the warm glow of love within me. I share it with the world. This warm glow permeates all life. I feel it, I know it, and let it shine in me brighter and brighter every moment. I am the warm glow of Spirit's love. You are the warm glow of Spirit's love. We are the warm glow of Spirit's love. We dance in its presence, and so it is. And thank you for that, Michelle.
You are welcome. It was my pleasure. So I have this wonderful video. I was trying to decide which part I was going to do, the a cappella or the musical part. But I think since Nan has blessed us with a lot of a cappella for opening and closing, I think I'll do the musical part. So let's see, hang on a minute. I'm multitasking. All right. I think you'll enjoy it. You've probably heard this before. It's some people named Jan Garrett and JD Martin, and they wrote, if you listen, you can hear that it's actually a spiritual mind treatment. So here it is. I am. This is what I know. We are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. All I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Now I let go. Such appreciation. Sheer exhilaration now. I stand so when I sing it, I see it. I welcome us in. And now we begin. Say amen. Say amen, amen. This is where I know. Amen.
There it is. Thank you.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I've always enjoyed them. They're just amazing. And did you hear that it was just a treatment? I think that's pretty impressive. So let me see. I'm navigating to turn up. It's like a little dance here. Oh, so let's take a nice deep breath in and just take that all in. And so we begin, she said. I love that. Isn't that beautiful? And, you know, I just want to welcome everybody. Good morning again. One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living. However you're connecting with us, I always like to say that, whether you're listening in real time or listening to the video later on. And last week I said that this month we're all about love, you know, and today we're exploring, as Lissa told us, the variety of colors that love parades before us every day. You know, we live in this incredibly rich and colorful world, and we can see when we look around, you know, on the land and in the sea and out in space, that everything's interwoven. You know, we know everything is working together. You know, we know that our physical bodies are made up of the elements that were born in the swirling gases of ancient stars that no longer even exist. The sun provides the energy for our lives. The moon pulls the tides, and everything is dependent on Earth's life-giving waters. You know, the order and the balance of the natural world it's evident in everything around us, including us. We all belong to this one interactive organism of life, one life, in both our spirit and form. We truly are one with everything. And you can see the Creator's signature written on all of its creation. It's in and through everything. And that oneness, that one life gives rise to such this beautiful diversity, all of this color, and it's just gorgeous. And I believe, as well as most spiritual traditions, that the initial creative impulse, that big bang that started it all, what was behind that big bang, is love. It's the energy and the vibration of love. And that's where we feel the most at home, is in that energy. You can feel it, the vibration of love. Love is our natural home. You know, Ernest Holmes, our founder, told us that. He said that love is the sole impulse for creation. And he said that if love isn't our incentive for life, then we haven't yet developed our real creative instinct, because love is what the whole universe is based on. You know, it's love that fires that creative impulse within us. Love is certainly the creative energy that stirs in me. It's that part of me that wants to fully participate with life. Does that ring true for you? Do you feel, when you feel, I mean, it could be for anything. You want to make a garden or create a good meal or sing a song. It's that fire of life, that loving presence. That's that creative impulse. And, you know, I've also discovered that under the surface of every event, and Lissa kind of alluded to this a little bit, underneath the surface of every event, circumstance, and experience that we have in our lives is the energy of love. Even if it's sometimes something that's unwanted or even problematic, that unwanted event is calling us to heal something that stands in the way of love's full expression. And you know, funny, but I'm actually kind of grateful that that creative impulsive love isn't always overt. You know, it isn't always easily recognized. I'm grateful that sometimes, you know, we got to pause and reflect and dig a little deeper to get to the good stuff. You know what I mean? I don't always see the potential or the possibility in a challenge right at first glance. But love is always there, patiently waiting to be discovered right under the surface. You know, life moves us toward the revelation of its purpose, and its purpose is love. And our job is to never stop digging, to never stop uncovering, to always be there, to always continue to see that that energy that's right under, that wants to express itself. You know, and just like Ernest Holmes, I think he says this right in the first chapter of his Science of Mind book, I am a huge advocate for the marriage of science and spirituality. You know, I believe that both draw from the same well, but they're carried in different containers, so to speak. They speak different languages, but both are an attempt to answer the same questions. Who are we in relationship to our creator and all of the other life we see around us? And why are we here? What's the meaning or purpose of our lives? And spirituality speaks that kind of that soft language of mystery and mysticism and heart, while science kind of speaks loudly through logic and subtle theory. Both are brilliant. And here's the thing, I believe they both, spirituality and science, are speaking about love in action. They approach it differently, but they're both talking about the expression of love. And one really needs the other to complement it, because neither approach is complete without the other. The mystery, the heart, the poetry of spirituality, and the order and the balance and the data of science, it just gives us a more complete and full rounded picture of the allness of life and how that original impulse of life, of love, expresses itself. And in our desire to bring a greater understanding and experience of love into our lives, both science and spirituality are wonderful teachers. I really think they are. And I think it's valid to approach the love from both angles. You know, I really consider myself a lifelong learner. I really enjoy being exposed to the ancient mystical wisdom. And I have this hunger and for learning all about great religions and philosophic systems. And I'm really inspired by the contemporary wisdom of science as well. I'm awed by scientific discovery. You know, it makes the natural world seem so sacred to me. There are so many ways to see and understand our inner and outer worlds. But here's the thing, nothing, absolutely nothing has taught me more than the experience of unconditional and unbound love. Nothing has taught me more. I'm gonna mute. There we go. I think that should help. Nothing has taught me more than that experience of deep love. You know, I mean, it really hasn't. There's this endless joy and deepening in the experience of love. You know, our love of nature, just kind of the things that Lissa in her opening enumerated for us, the love of nature, our love of family and friends, and the unconditional love for ourselves. Sometimes that's a toughie. Think of the infinite ways in which you can know life and create with the power of love. Think about the ways that love stretches us and it encourages us and it pulls us toward it. Love has just such variety and color. You know, I ran across a passage and just a quote, let me see if I can find it. It's so great, by a Catholic priest named Richard Rohr. You might know who he is. He's actually, I think he's just a metaphysician at heart, but he wrote this and I thought, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we're talking about. And it really rings true for me. And he wrote that God clearly loves diversity. All we need to do is look at the animal world or the world under the sea or each human being. None of us look exactly alike. Is there any evidence to show where in all of creation that God prefers uniformity? No, there is not. Infinite diversity is born from infinite, unbound love and Spirit's desire to express itself as infinite love through all of its creation. I just revel in it. You know, I revel in looking around and seeing such diversity. Nothing is the same and nothing is alike. How beautiful is that? You know, and as human beings, we talk so much about love. Again, Lissa referenced this. And yet there seems to be so much confusion about it. There's thousands of books and articles and scripts devoted to it, songs, all talking about some facet of love. And until kind of in a way, the word itself can kind of get tired or overused or trite. And I think it's overuse makes us a little numb to the real essence and the real meaning of love. Love is not just sugar and sweetness, not just a rose garden. And love is not always comfortable, because love requires us to be available, to show up, to really make ourselves vulnerable. And vulnerability, although it is the strength within us, it's not always comfortable. Love asks us to unmask ourselves, to be our true selves. And sometimes we can be afraid to do that because we don't know how we're going to be received, and we don't want to be hurt. And maybe we don't feel like we're strong enough or worthy enough or capable of doing what Jesus implored us to do, to love our neighbor as ourselves. Or what was the other one? He said, love our enemies. Do good to those that hate us. Bless those that curse us. Pray for those who abuse us. That's strong, powerful love. Real love stretches us. It stretches us to grow and to change and to transform fear into love. And that can be a scary thing to do. It requires real courage and real trust and real willingness. It can feel risky to let our guard down and to love, and it's natural to want to protect ourselves. But if we don't open up, we don't get the good stuff. We miss the good stuff. I was reading that scientists in the field of positive psychology have done a lot of research and discovered that each of us actually has a happiness set point, kind of a fixed level of happiness that we kind of hover around, where we feel comfortable. And no matter what happens to us, we want to be at that happiness set point. And I believe the same thing is true for love, that we have this personal love set point. But I also believe that we have the ability to move past that love set point. And when we do, we receive life's greatest gifts. The ordinary becomes the extraordinary. And while our set point for love may help us bounce back when we encounter those challenges, it can also unconsciously limit the amount of love that we're able to receive, that we're willing to receive. The amount of love that we're able to give and draw back into our lives. But here's what I know. The more we practice living in that vibration of love, the more open and present we are to it. And the more accessible love is, the more familiar and comfortable it feels to us. And the more our deep and basic need for love is fulfilled. And we do have that need. We thrive when we feel connected through love. Don't you thrive when you feel that connection to God, to ourselves, to others? I know that that's true for me, and that's probably true for you. Do you thrive when you feel connected to love in any way? And I also believe that because our very nature is our oneness with our Creator, that each of us has within us this great storehouse, this great capacity to feel the flow of love. And when we allow it to flow freely, we find that even the common and mundane things of life become more enjoyable, more joyous, and love infuses every aspect of our lives. When I'm standing in that flow of love, when I'm able to vibrate at that level, even the small things that sometimes I don't enjoy doing, that I kind of hardly notice, become things of beauty. I'm almost in awe of them. I was filling up the bucket with water the other day, and suddenly I was in awe about the water. It's because I've been practicing standing in this vibration of love. And this is the most profound and powerful lesson that we can learn about life, to be in that place, to pause, to connect with someone, to connect with something, to show up in some way in compassion and kindness and love, was trying to think of a story that really, of my own personal life, that really illustrates this. And I remembered when I was going to school to get my teaching credential, this was, decades ago now. I worked at an insurance company during the day, and I handled auto and homeowners claims. And I worked until 5:30 every day. And I always had just enough time to get home, to get something to eat, and to scoot down to the university for my classes, my evening classes. And this day, right before my time to go home, the phone rang at 5:15. And I was really hoping it would just be a quick call and not someone who was reporting an accident or a claim. And sure enough, the woman on the other end of the line said, "I'd like to report an automobile accident." And my immediate reaction was annoyance. Oh, great. And I'm absolutely sure that my annoyance could be heard through my voice. But I began to take her information, knowing the call was going to be at least 30 or 45 minutes, and I was going to probably be late for my class. So I very impatiently asked all the usual questions: when and where the accident had occurred. And the woman said the accident was over a month old. And I remember being even more annoyed because she'd waited so long to report the accident. And then before I even asked how the accident had occurred, I asked if anyone had been injured in the accident. Kind of makes me tear up just telling the story. And there was this very long pause. So I asked again. And the woman took a deep breath, and she said that her daughter had intentionally driven off a cliff and committed suicide. And I was speechless. And I was so ashamed. And I remember my eyes starting to fill with tears, just like they are right now, and having a lump in my throat. And as I kind of pulled myself together, I said, "I am so sorry. I have been so dismissive and impatient with you, and I am so sorry. I cannot imagine your pain, and I am so deeply sorry for the way that I've treated you and for your incredible loss." And she replied with such generosity. She said, "It's not your fault. How could you possibly have known?" And I felt as if I shared this incredible moment of grace. We were connected. We were in the energy of love. We were there for each other, even in her obvious deep pain and my guilt and shame for having dismissed her. There was this love. It was really a transformative moment. What a lesson for me. The greatest lessons are in our unbound, unrestricted, unconditional love. And I learned in the most profound way that is what is going on in my life is not always the most important thing in the world, that everything does not revolve around me and my world. And it taught me that it is always more important to treat others with loving kindness than anything else. And not in this particular circumstance, but in reality, sometimes there are situations where we have to say, "I'd love to connect with you, but I have another obligation that I have to tend to." But we can even do that with compassion and kindness. This situation taught me that not only do I never really know what's going on in someone else's life, but more importantly, the way I connect with and treat others in every situation, no matter what, is the most important element of a well-lived life. And as I said last week, the plot of every story is always love. It was here, and we should never twist the details as an excuse for that plot of deep love. We can't stand behind the details of life as an excuse not to love unconditionally, even though sometimes it's a challenge. And it is. So let's go back to something I said earlier that we often say in Science of Mind. I've heard Red Holmes say it. I've heard other spiritual teachers say it. I say it myself all the time. Said it earlier in this talk, that love is our natural home. It sounds kind of self-explanatory, really. But what does it really mean? And I think if we can embody this idea, it can support us in living more fully in the vibration of love in our daily lives. And that's really what we're all about here. Last week, I mentioned that we know that everything is energy and that everything vibrates. We know that our thoughts and our emotions or our feelings all have a vibration. And we know that love is the highest vibration in any of these other emotions, any of the emotions that we associate with fear, like frustration or resentment, sadness, depression. These emotions, while they're certainly a part of our human experience and we honor them and move through them, we would really rather not live in the vibration of these fear-based emotions all the time. Love feels so much better. It's our natural home. Love feels open and expansive, and these lower vibrations tend to feel closed and restrictive. Love feels good. It feels comfortable, supportive, reliable, safe. Love feels like home because love is our natural home. And because we use the words God and love synonymously, I really think of them as one of the same. I think it's safe to say that our natural home is in our oneness with our Creator. And that's really the teaching of most spiritual traditions, that we are one with God. And that God, that presence, that whatever we want to call it, is the impulse and the vibration, the creative impulse and the vibration of love in our life. You know, I quoted Ernest Holmes last week saying that, and I did it in the meditation today too, only love knows love and love knows only love. And I take this to mean that when we are in the experience of love, that's all we know. And when we are in the experience of God, that's all we know. And the more we practice this resonance of love and God, the more we find ourselves being familiar with and living in this vibration or experience every day. And I do believe that both love and God are experiences. We can talk about God. You know, every spiritual tradition has spiritual principles that it's based on, the idea of God or spirit or the divine or whatever we want to call it, that divine presence. And all of spiritual traditions teach spiritual practices, methodologies, techniques to move us into an environment in which we can experience God. But we truly can't articulate the experience of either God or love. We could try, but God or love is not something we understand with our cognition. It's an experience. And our spiritual practice simply create the environment in which that experience of God and love can happen more easily. So we could say, and this line kind of popped in my head, and I thought, wow, that's really good. I'm going to share that in our oneness with our Creator, that we are energy using matter to express life, to express love, to express God. That's all we are. And we get to choose, we do choose, either consciously or unconsciously, how to express the energy of love, in the energy of that creative impulse into our lives. And we're the ones who bring meaning and purpose to our lives through that expression, through the way in which we say yes to that, wherever we resonate. You know, I was thinking, Science of Mind, or really New Thought in general, is a spiritual philosophy that says that we are one with the natural creative impulse of the universe, which is love. And at the very same time, to the degree that we embody this vibration of God and love, we express it into our life. And this happens through a natural law, which is everywhere present and always working, bringing into our experience what we believe and what we have put our attention on. So I was thinking, what if this week we practice putting our attention only on expressions of love, the love that we see outside in the world that sparks that feeling within us, and the love that we feel within ourselves? What if we trust life to bring us more and more of the vibration of our natural home of love? What if we become, and I talked about this tuning fork last week, and I love this image. What if we become a tuning fork of love? We're playing that note, vibrating at that level. And then all of the other beings that we encounter during our day can tune to that love that we are resonating. What if we did that? Now, keep in mind, this can be a tricky thing because everyone's not going to be experiencing the world from the same loving vibration that we are. We hope they are. We want them to, but they aren't always going to be there. So we get to be the placeholder for love. And no matter what others think, say, think, do, whatever, we can stand in the power of that love. What if we experiment with that this week? What if? So I know that all there is love. God, spirit, the resonance, the experience of that vibration and harmony, the universal song, the universe. We stand in that. We resonate at that. We are one with that. So I speak my word for and about all these beautiful, loving expressions of the divine that are here on this call, that are in the world, that are part of our loving community, that are anyone that is walking upon the face of this planet or has already moved on to the next is a part of this loving vibration. I speak my word for and about them, knowing that the deepest expression of life, of God, is love, and that we are moving into its expansion, its greatness, its higher and higher vibration as we live our humanity through the creative impulse of love. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so incredibly grateful. Just grateful. And I know that as I speak these words, they're already true in God, and they are making their way through law into expression. And we resonate and hold them in our heart, in our beingness. Oh, it's so good. So I relax in that, knowing all is well. Together we say, and so it is. And so it is. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, that felt good. Let's see. You know what? I think Relaine was supposed to do.
No, it's me.
Oh, that's right. You're doing both. Oh, bless your sweetheart. I remember.
Yes.
I'm so generous to offer to do both. I appreciate that so much.
You're welcome. Okay, I think that now we have the opportunity to show an expression of love to our center by contributing to One Heart, One Mind. And you have on the screen the ways to do it. If you don't already know, there's an address to mail it, and then there's always Venmo.
All right. Oops.
So we could say together, everything flows from the nature of God's good. We receive from this flow, we give from this flow. We give in gratitude and in love. We have faith in the infinite giving nature of spirit. And so it is.
So it is. Oh, thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Yvonne, I think you didn't have to go away. Yvonne thought she might have to do something, but she's still here, so she can do the announcements. Woo-hoo.
Yay. Yeah, Monday evening prayer group from 6 to 6:20. It's our time for silent prayer. And please join us on Zoom as we silently pray for our center. And the Zoom link is in the newsletter. And it'd be great if you would join us. Sheesh, that was hard. And then Tuesday evening, Spiritual Learning Circle has some little changes. One change is it's going to be at 6:30 to 7:30 instead of 6 to 7. So if you're planning on coming, just remember.
And we're going to take one more week. We're going to start on the 9th. I'm sorry, you were going to.
Hold on 1 minute. Just
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah, no worries.
Tell that. Go ahead. I'll be right back.
So this was the little interruption she was thinking she might have. No biggie. So, let's see, I'm gonna mute her and then I'll just. Oh, she's coming back. No, maybe not. Do you want to finish up, Yvonne, or do you want me to do it? Anyway, we are gonna take one more week off and we'll start on the 19th. You want to finish up, Yvonne? You're muted, honey. Sorry, I muted you. I'll unmute you.
Oh,
Go.
I'm sorry. We've
No
been having problems. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
We've been having problems with our smoke detectors, so they're coming around everybody's place. Wouldn't you know, he shows up right now. I think it's hilarious. But anyway, so I'm sure that she explained 6:30 to 7:30. And the book we're going to be beginning with on the 19th. The 19th is the next day that we're going to meet. Will be What's in the Way. What's in the Way is What is the Way by Mary O'Malley. And I've started reading it. It's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot and learning a lot of things that really help me every day. So if you want to get the book, it's available on Amazon, and you can get it as a book or also on Kindle if you like it that way. Then I have some reminders. Don't forget unexpected income. This is pretty interesting because I was writing that, thinking about it today, and I thought, if you don't expect it, you're not going to get it. And oh my gosh, I've been getting some that I forgot all about. It's a guy who lives close to me, who's a Cajun guy, and he loves to cook. And boy, can he cook nicely. And he will always bring it over. He says he's a guy that works in, has a guard at night someplace. And so he's not always here to say, oh, I've made some this. So he brings it over anyway. And it's a surprise, and it's always fabulous. And you would never have asked me if Cajun food was good until this guy is. It's wonderful. And he does it for all the people that live really close to him. He says he has to take care of his neighbors. Isn't that cool?
That's very sweet.
And all this time I forgot about it.
What an expression of love that is.
Hugely. And you would love this guy too. He's 6'4" and big. So it's really fun because he always, and he really messes around with the recipes. And I just think it's wonderful. And I didn't even think of that. So see, you have to think about this stuff.
You do, that's true.
Then my last thing I have here is be sure and visit Reverend Michelle's Facebook page, Spiritual Recovery, a journey of possible change. And it's especially good for those people that are working on addiction recovery. So that's everything I have. I hope I didn't forget anything.
No, you got it, girl. Thank you. Perfect. And so now, Nan, are you there? Oh, wait, no, we're
No,
first gonna
you
do
need-
the benediction, sorry.
Okay.
As
It's okay.
I often do.
Well, I think we could just come together in a spirit of gratitude for the wonderful service that we have had, and with the wonderful instruction to move forward in this coming week, really paying attention to both the love we give and the love we receive. And I think that's a nice way to play out what we're learning about love and to increase the intensity of love in our everyday life. And I finally want to end my prayer with the first verse of that song, Higher Love, which is, think about it, there must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart and I'll look in mine.
Beautiful.
And so I release this word by saying, and so it is, amen and hallelujah.
Thank you.
And I encourage you, if you can find the song. It's Steve Winwood, and if you've not heard it, it will just lift your spirits totally. It's just a very jolly expression of love.
It is. It's a great song. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate it. I had forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Blessings. Okay, we are going to have now, Nan. Now you're on, kid.
Yes, I love that song, Lisa. What a great song. Whenever I hear it, I just have to dance. I just can't stand still because it's just such a lively, wonderful song.
I
Yes.
know.
Well, so, well,
I was just going to say, it's the theme song for my puppet, Bella. I think most of you know that I have a hand puppet who talks to me, and that's her favorite song.
oh, I love it.
Her signature.
I love it. Well, I'm going to sing another song by Karen Drucker today. And I just think it's really appropriate that I do both the Karen Drucker songs today, because she's the reason that I came to meet this wonderful group of people at the OHAM Center. I just can't express the joy that I have and the gratitude for being a part of this amazing group of people. I'm just so blessed. And so actually, I'm going to sing this song of love to you. Here we go. When I look in your eyes, I see the beloved. I see the beloved looking back at me. When I stand next to you, I feel the beloved, feel the beloved in you. You are in my soul, you are my inspiration. With you in my heart, I'm never alone. We are one, there is no separation. When I rest in you, I'm home. When I touch your heart, I feel the beloved, feel the beloved touching me. When I open my heart, I open to the beloved in you. You are in my soul, you are my inspiration. With you in my heart, I'm never alone. We are one, we are not separated. When I rest in you, I'm home. When I touch your heart, I feel the beloved. I feel the beloved touching me. When I open my heart, I open to the beloved in you. To the beloved in you. To the beloved in you. Thank you for being so in my heart.
Thank you for that, Nan. That was beautiful. Really appreciate it. So I am going to turn off our live stream and our recording. Thank you for being here today. And let's